Welcome to Menopause Monday, where I share weekly tips with you to meet you where you are at on your menopausal journey. Today, I'm actually going to be talking about myths around menopausal weight gain and give you a few tips and strategies to help you if you are struggling with menopausal weight gain. Firstly, I think it's important to say, love yourself where you're at. And yeah, you might be thinking, yeah, but I hate how I look. Be kind to your body. You're where you're at today. It doesn't mean to say you have to stay where you're at tomorrow or indeed the week after or the week after that. Once you start to take action on the things which are going to help you, the reason I want to kick off with this is I think a lot of people think it's going to take forever. It's going to be a really long uphill battle. It's not. The minute you decide to take action is the minute you start to win. It's about taking a few simple steps consistently, which are going to get you the results that you want. And you're going to get the results that are going to last you for a lifetime. Everything has to be done within moderation, within balance. Yes, you could go all out and say, I want to look like I want to win the next bikini competition at the end of the year or whatever it is. And yeah, you'd have to follow a very strict process. This is really about, for those women who, like me, just want to feel healthy and happy, confident, energized. I used to get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I felt it was a struggle to stay awake. Literally every single afternoon. Thank goodness I actually had to go and collect the kids from either nursery or school, because that's what made me stay awake. It was awful. I did go through the stage where I felt like I no longer identified with who I was. Who the heck was I? I started to gain the weight, and that was with doing all the wrong things as well. So I'm going to cover those in today's episode, and I hope you find them helpful. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you stay abreast of what's going on and catch future episodes. And if you've got anything you want me to cover in a future episode, just let me know and I'll be happy to add that to my list. First myth is that you automatically will gain weight as you go through the menopause. No, it is a myth. It is largely down to genetics, your lifestyle. Some of us are more lucky than others. Like I said, I started to notice the weight was shifting upwards, and I was getting a barrel belly, and it was just like, where the heck's that coming from? I was doing loads of exercise. I was hardly eating, and still it was just I'm so glad I didn't, but I nearly gave up. I nearly accepted my fate as that this is just what happens and I have to kind of put up with it. I didn't know what I knew now. I didn't know what I know now then, and I wish I had, because it would have made all the difference. But I've learned, and I've also used myself as a guinea pig. I've worked with hundreds of ladies in my wellness community, and the majority of us, if not all of us, are menopausal, with the exception of just a few. And it works. So the system really is to probably cut back on what you're doing. When you've gone through menopause, less really is more. Make it more intentional. You want a good system of strength training with a small amount of the right kind of cardio, so you're not spiking your heart rate for too long. Obviously, flexibility and mobility is key. The workouts that I follow, they all have a stability element to them, because as we get older, we lose our stability, we lose our muscle mass, our bones get weaker. You know, if you don't work it, you definitely do lose it. And you know, as we get older, if we've got less muscle mass, then we're burning up less energy, which means that the calories that we eat count for even more. And I'm not a fan of calorie counting. Calories are not created equal. I think it's a very archaic approach these days. And it just takes the fun out of eating. You have to count your bloody calories again. It's just like, just like, no, thank you. Just enjoy food, enjoy life. That's what the system that I use is all about. You learn about nutrition, you learn about portion sizes, you learn about macros to a degree, just the sort of right combination that you should be using. But essentially, it's become really overcomplicated out there. There is so much confusion, and it's just take it back to basics. So no, the myth that weight gain is absolutely given when you hit the menopause is wrong. Myth number 2 is that you can't lose weight once you go through the menopause. I've sort of covered that in the previous one, but you can. You most certainly can. You can lose weight, you can gain muscle mass, you can gain energy, you can gain confidence. A lot of ladies I talk to they say, I just want to feel like I used to feel before I got to the menopause. And it's just like, well, how about even feeling better? And it's just like they look at me agog. It's just like, yes, you bloody can. I've not felt better than ever, I don't think. Yeah, I get a bit of brain fog. I get tongue-tied. I mix my words up. I nearly did just then. It's got its challenges, but life has its challenges. I honestly, I feel really good. I really feel like if somebody said, would you be a billboard for healthy living after menopause? I would gladly say yes, because what I do works and it's fun and I have energy and I feel confident. The ladies that I work with, they have fun, they have energy, they feel confident. It's so yes, you can absolutely lose weight and lose weight healthily as well in a sustainable way, because it has to be sustainable and it has to be maintainable. You don't want to just like lose weight to go on holiday and then go on holiday and put it all back on and more, because essentially a lot of those sorts of restriction diets, your body's really clever. When you start to restrict it, when you then eventually feed it again, it's just going to hang on to more. So you're going to find it harder to release weight when you have been restricting yourself. Just let the body do what it does best and just be your body's best friend. So, be wiser about your food choices. Make sure that you are doing more strength training than cardio and you're not doing the sort of wrong kind of cardio that spikes your cortisol too much. Right, myth number 3. Myth number 3 is that skipping meals will help you lose weight. I don't agree with that. But I do agree with eating proper meals. So you'll see a lot of articles that say you have to graze to maintain, all the balance. If you graze, your insulin never gets chance to, your blood sugar reaction, your blood glucose reaction never gets chance to drop again to a healthy level. If you're constantly eating, you're constantly firing off your insulin response. Just eat 2 or 3 healthy meals a day and try not to snack in between. To be honest, if you need to snack, you're probably not eating the right kind of macronutrients. So your fats, your carbs, your protein, fiber in your meals. So adjust the meal rather than the amount of times that you're eating throughout the day. You want some time in between meals so your insulin levels can just drop off normally, healthily. That's why intermittent fasting, I do believe in intermittent fasting. I think it works really well, but do it in a sustainable way. I sort of normally eat about 11 a.m. and then I finish eating by about 7:30 in the evening. So for the rest of that time, so between 7:30 and 11 a.m., I'm not eating anything. I do have a coffee, but I'm not putting calories into my body then, and that seems to work really, really well. I think also it's important to remember that we're all different. So that suits me nicely. It might not suit you. You might prefer to have an you might just fast one day and just have a light meal in the evening. You might be able to do the 2-day fast, which a lot of people say. So eat 5 days on and like what you want, and then 2 days you completely fast. You have a small meal in the evening. I would really struggle with that. I love my food and I like to have it on a daily basis, but I tend to have a plentiful breakfast. It's normally oats, low sugar granola, almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, half a banana, maybe chia seeds. I put a little bit of scattering of my superfoods protein shake on it as well, a dollop of Greek yogurt. It's all sort of optimized for healthy gut bacteria. And and anything else. I mean, prunes sometimes I stick on. I love prunes. So berries, chuck on some frozen berries, and then I normally have I have a superfood shake at about 2:30 in the afternoon. Again, that's got sort of gut healthy stuff and mental healthy stuff in it. And I sometimes blend that up with frozen cauliflower because it gives it a nice creamy texture. Often I just stick it with water or lime juice and peppermint essence. Oh, it's lovely like that. And then in the evening meal, I have a normal meal, and I normally have a bottle of beer and 2 glasses of wine. And I'm not on my athlete mode at the minute. I have a little bit of fluff around the middle, but that's just normal healthy fluff. It's not, if I needed to be like talking about the bikini competition, I'd cut out the booze straight away and that would make all the difference. But I enjoy drinking wine. I like beer, so it's for me that gives me a lot of pleasure. And it still shows that you can still be lean and healthy and fit and eat plentifully. I love food. I eat a lot of food. So, but I eat it within a smaller window. So you have to find what works best for you. But yes, you can most certainly lose weight as you go through the menopause. Myth number 4 is that menopause makes it impossible to target belly fat. That's a load of BS, actually. Belly fat largely is a stress response. So you'll see a lot of ladies, sort of midlife and beyond, they've got little stick legs and then they've got a big round belly. That is largely a stress response. It's a cortisol type belly. Essentially, when we are at any kind of stress, that could be that you're not drinking enough water. It could be that you're not eating the right amount of healthy foods. Got to allow for balance. You're allowed your treats. But if you're constantly pounding, filling yourself up with processed food, it's nutritionally devoid. You just waste it. You might as well just flush your money down the drain, to be quite frank. So you want healthy food as fuel, but enjoy it at the same time. If you're not sleeping well, if you hate your job, relationship dynamics are changing, caring for elderly parents, there's a lot that goes on at our stage of life. Plus, not to mention the fact that your hormones are all over the shop and your body's just desperately trying to find some balance in there. And also, as our estrogen levels fall, our cortisol levels, one of our stress hormones, naturally rises. So we are always fighting that cortisol thing. So really you want to be focusing on stress reduction and things that serve you. So that's one of the reasons I work out nearly every day, is because, well, 5 days a week, is because it helps you manage stress. It helps you build muscle. It just makes you feel happier. It floods your body with feel-good hormones. It keeps your bones stronger. There is nothing detrimental about workouts, but there is everything detrimental if you don't do any kind of intentional exercise, and make sure it consists of also strength training. So yeah, belly fat is completely get rid of-able. I think the thing is, most people try and starve themselves to get rid of belly fat, and of course that is completely the wrong thing to do. So you need to eat well. Don't put your body into stress reduction techniques. Focus on improving your sleep if you can do. I know a lot of us struggle with sleep problems, but when you're brutally honest with yourself, are you really maximizing your chances to sleep? So I'm actually sleeping really well at the moment. I seem to have got into this phase. It's fabulous. Are you drinking too much alcohol? Because it might help you drift off, but it's waking you up in the early hours because your liver is like churning out, doing way more jobs than it needs to do. Its energy is waking you up in the early hours. And alcohol does wake you up in the early hours if you drink too much of it. Is that a problem? Are you eating too much sugar? That's going to disrupt your sleep. Are you on screens late at night? That will disrupt your sleep. Are you not allowing your body to just sort of calm down? When around bedtime, I go into low light mode. I love walking through a dark house. I'm pretty sure this is haunted. I'm sure there's something here, but it's friendly, whatever it is. But walking around in the dark does not bother me at all. But even if you don't like the dark, you can use candlelight or just low light. Swap out some of the bulbs for 20 watts or something like that. Just go low light in the evening. Allow your body, even in my bathroom, I don't use my big high ceiling powerful light at nighttime. I've got some automatic, they sort of come on, their motion sensor lights. They're dim. I can see what I need to see, but it's just really relaxing. So try and focus on really relaxing yourself towards bedtime. One of the most important things also is getting out into the daylight early in the morning, because that helps to set your circadian rhythm. So it helps to, as you go through the day, progressively, you'll start to be creating more melatonin, which is your sleepy hormone. So, and by getting early exposure to daylight, that helps to set that up for success. Sleep in a cooler room. It's been absolutely proven, if your room's too hot, it disrupts your sleep. Have a weighted blanket. If you sleep in a cooler room and weight down your blanket, or have a heavier blanket, there's something really calming and like oof about having a weighted blanket or just a heavier blanket. You don't need to go and buy an expensive weighted blankets, because those things are really expensive. But just put a heavier blanket on, or maybe just an extra blanket on top of where you're at. So cooler in your bedroom, but heavier on your bed. You'll find that has a really it helps to trigger the relaxation response as well. So that, just make sure, focus on are you doing the best that you can to ensure that you're having a good night's sleep, because most of us are not, and there are a few things that we can change, and we choose not to. Myth number 5 is that you should avoid all fats. Fats are so important to us. They are absolutely vital to healthy life. They're needed for our nervous system. Our entire nervous system is sheathed in fats. Our brain is. We need fat. Please don't ever think you should cut out fat. Yes, cut out trans fat. So reduce your processed foods, ideally. But you can use things like coconut oil, avocado oil, sesame seed oil, extra virgin olive oil, grass-fed butter, high-quality butter. I eat loads of fats. I mean, I cook with butter, I cook with coconut oil, I cook with extra virgin olive oil. I eat nuts and seeds like they're coming out of my ears. Fats are really good for you. So yeah, if you eat too much of anything, it's going to have a detrimental impact, but please don't be afraid of fats. It's just the trans fats that you want to ideally not eat. Healthy fats, no problem at all. Number 6 is that cardio will help you lose weight. Nah, it puts too much stress on the body when we go through the menopause. Strength training, and stability. Strength training and stability. We need a small amount of cardio, but you will find that in a lot of strength training exercises, your heart's pounding. If you're doing like squats and you're lifting your arms above your head, or you're doing lunges and you're lifting your arms above your head, shoulder presses, they are all going to raise your heartbeat. That's cardio. It's making your heart beat faster and make you breathe more air in. So the right kind of strength training, or a well put together strength training plan, will achieve your cardio without you having to go like running or pounding or skipping or whatever it might be. You know, like the old days in the 1980s when we all wore leg warmers and lycra leotards, and it was just crazy. Those, I can't even remember what these, something circuits. It's just like, oh, I used to hate those. I used to go with some of my like male friends, and they were really good at it, and it's just like, it nearly killed me off. I've never been a fan of cardio, but I'm really relieved that as I've got older, you need to do less of that kind of nutty stuff, and you focus more on strength training. It will benefit your bones, it'll benefit your muscles, it'll reduce the belly fat, it'll keep you stronger for longer, it'll improve your balance, your mobility. So make sure you're not overdoing the cardio, but make sure you're doing plenty of strength training. Myth number 7 is that supplements are a quick fix to losing weight in menopause. Yes and no. Okay, so I believe that most supplements you should take on a short-term basis to achieve what you want to achieve, and then ideally your diet, what you eat, not restriction diet, your diet as in what you eat, should provide the rest. However, we do live in a neutrally deficient or devoid world, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. The food that we eat nowadays has not got the quality that it used to have a few decades ago, and that does beg the question, should you be supplementing? One of the supplements I think is really great, and it's one that's really worked well for me, is vitamin E, to help me with joint pain. Vitamin E is actually really important to sort of help decrease inflammation in the body, as well as loads of other things. But if you struggle with joint pain, I would give up caffeine, and I would have a vitamin E supplement, and have a look on Amazon. You want the 4 tocopherols, which most of the vitamin E supplements have, and the 4 tocotrienols, which some have, some don't. You want the 4 and the 4. Don't worry about the words, just make sure you've got the 4 and the 4, and you'll see what I mean. That made a huge difference to my joint pain, giving up caffeine and vitamin E supplements, taking vitamin E supplements. There's a great non-zero, it's a herbal coffee, zero caffeinated, called by Ticino, TEECINO, not affiliated with them at all, but their stuff's really, really good. And it's a lovely coffee alternative. So try that if you're struggling with joint pain. The supplements that I do take every single day, and which I absolutely swear by, are the adaptogen herbs. I have them in a daily shake combination. It contains also digestive enzymes and pre and probiotics and fiber. So it's really good for our gut health, which is very, very good for our mental health. But the adaptogen herbs help you manage stress more effectively. And stress is largely, like I said earlier, largely responsible for our belly fat. but it also helps you sleep better. You know, if you've got your stress under control, life just is more technicolor. And I feel that when I don't take them, when I had my double bunionectomy surgery in May last year, I wasn't allowed to take anything for like a week on the run up to the surgery. And oh God, by day 3, I noticed it. It was just like, ooh, I felt sluggish, and it's just like, ooh, I just didn't feel right in my body. It's amazing stuff. So I do take that every single day. And I go off and on vitamin E. I don't like to take any vitamins for a prolonged period of time, just because I kind of think we should get it from our food. But again, are we getting it from our food? So I tend to go on them for a little bit of time and then come off them. If I've got a cold or I'm struggling to sort of get rid of a cold, I tend to have echinacea, which is a herbal remedy that helps boost your immune system. Vitamin C sometimes, but I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. And a quick tip on that point is I would buy frozen fruits and veggies more often than the fresh stuff, because they're frozen apparently, you know, pretty soon, within an hour or so of being picked, and that locks in the nutrients, and they're a lot better value as well. And they don't go off, they just sit in your deep freeze. So I tend to do that. I do buy fresh broccoli, cauliflower, but my spinach, my green beans, my broccoli, most of that is frozen, and all my berries I buy frozen. So yeah, consider buying the frozen alternatives. They're pretty good for you. I mean, they don't do me any harm, and I feel really healthy and happy. My final myth number 8, is that menopause is all doom and gloom, and that is just so much BS. There's a lot of negativity out there around the menopause. And yeah, I'm not denying that some women's journey through the menopause is bloody hard. But there are things that we can do. And when you start to make the changes that will help you, yeah, you might need HRTs. I'm not saying don't have it. I'm just saying, even if you take HRT, lifestyle factors will also benefit you massively. But there is so much that we can do. It kind of gets a bit frustrating, because I think it's almost become like a fashionable badge to be, oh God, doom and gloom, menopause. And actually, I like to look at it in a different way. Yeah, there are days when I don't feel so great, but there were days I didn't feel great before the menopause. Yeah, I still get hot flushes, but normally it's up to me whether I get them, pretty much. If I'm drinking wine, or I eat spicy food, or I have too much coffee, I will have a hot flush. Definitely. If I get thirsty, bang, it hits. As soon as I think, oh, I'm thirsty, I get a hot flush. And I can control that. If I cut out my booze and make sure I stay better hydrated, I can get it down to maybe 1, at the very most 2 hot flushes a day now. Improve my sleep. There are so many things that I can do to improve my sleep. Do I choose to do them? Sometimes I don't, and then I sleep badly. So I'm reminded, it's like a sort of quick kick in the bum to remind me to actually, yeah, I'm not invincible, and I do need to take a few things, take action on a few things. I work out. I follow a strategic workout plan, because it keeps my muscles strong. It helps my mental health. It helps me cope with stress more effectively. Makes me more productive and more focused as well, and happier. There is a multitude of things that we can do. The superfoods that I take every day, they're not the cheapest. They're not that bad. You know, I have them instead of my lunch. They're between $2.70 and $3.50 a day. I think that's a massive investment for my health. I don't go to the pub, so I'm not wasting that money on a drink at the pub. It's what you do prioritize. I don't have my nails done. I don't drink in the pub. I rarely go out for dinner. I'd rather cook my own stuff at home. What do you prefer to prioritize your money on? And for me, that superfood shake is a no-brainer, because it makes me feel so much better. So that, you know, there are many things that we can do. And I think it's wrong to keep doing the doom and gloom side of menopause. We've got this far. We should be bloody grateful we've got this far. So many women have not got, or girls have not got this far. And when you can wake up with sort of gratitude and look at life in a more positive way. I talked about this a little while ago, but you know, when you're giving birth, and yeah, it's bloody agonizing, and it's exhausting, and it takes you to and beyond a limit you never ever thought you would humanly ever be able to go to. But the pain is different, because you know you get all your hope, you're getting your baby, and caveat, I know people who've lost their babies and they've had to give birth to them, and it's just, I always, because I know people that have been through it, I'm always really careful when I talk about it like this, but just trying to keep it very simplistic. When you're lucky enough to be able to give birth to your baby and the baby's healthy, that pain is different. If somebody was there, I mean, I had both of mine at home, and you're only allowed gas and air. It doesn't take the pain away. It lifted my spirits a little bit. I must admit, it made me feel, oh, yeah, I probably can do this. Well, actually, no, I didn't feel quite like that, but it definitely lifted my spirits. But you can't have, I had my second child in a birthing pool. Again, you can't have pain relief. It's literally down, and you're not really, the midwives can't really do much either. It really is down to you to give birth to the baby. But it's a different kind of pain. If you were there having your arm chopped off with, they're giving you a little bit of gas and air, that would just be horrendous. I mean, that would be really sick making pain, because you're losing. It's a different, and the only thing that's different is our perception of it. It's how we perceive that. And I think when we can change how we perceive the menopause, we can either be our own best ally or our own worst friend. What do you want? I know some people like to moan. Some people like to get up, and it's just like an elderly person that I know, you'd ask him how he was feeling, and he'd say, I don't know, I've not taken my temperature yet. Okay, well, good luck with that then. And his whole approach to how he was going to feel that day was so negative. There is so much that we can do on a mindset basis as to how we perceive the menopause. And in all honesty, what actions are you taking to improve your journey through the menopause? I speak to people who, those supplements I've just told you about, the adaptogen herbs, who they ask about them, they can afford them, they've got all the details, but they still choose not to have them. What is that? Why? Probably because it'll break the identity they have with menopause. Often I know I'm walking on dodgy ground here. I'm a psychotherapist, so I'm sort of trained to do that. But there are secondary gains in a lot of these things as well. When you're feeling crap, when you're ill, people look after you, and it's really nice. It's really nice to have somebody say, oh, can I get you a cup of tea, darling? Or here you go, let me put this blanket over you. And I'm not suggesting that's what you're like. Trying to be very careful. I know I'm sailing very, very close to the wind here. But with some people, there are secondary gains to the fact that they have the menopause. And with all honesty, there are some women who really struggle with menopause. And these people are not the women I'm talking about. I'm talking about there are a lot of people also who love to relish the sort of the doom and gloom of it all. And I think when we have the choice, we should really be proactive about what we're doing to help our journey through the menopause, because you totally can feel so much better by adapting various lifestyle changes. It's just whether you choose to do that or not. And whether you need HRT to help you is neither here nor there, really. Even with HRT, there are still so many things that you can be doing to help support your lifestyle so that you support what the HRT is doing to you. It's not a cure-all. It can take a little while to find the right dose, to find the right type of HRT that suits you best. It's not a quick fix. And at the end of the day, as a human being, we should be prioritizing our sleep. We should be eating food as fuel. We should be moving our bodies. We shouldn't just be, doing a job we hate and coming home and collapsing on the sofa and watching telly all night, filling our food with mouth with a load of rubbish. We have to take responsibility for where we're at in life as well. Yeah, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate on this one. So be it. I really feel that we need to be more positive about what we can do and be more proactive about the actions that we can take, because there's a load of actions that we can take. And the fact of the matter is that a lot of people choose not to. So on that one, I might move house before I publish this. And I would thank you for your company. If you're still here with me, and if you're not absolutely fuming and swearing at the screen, even if you are, thank you for sticking with me this long. And please give it a thumbs up, particularly if you if I really pushed your buttons today. And if you've got anything you'd like me to cover in a future episode, I'd be more than happy to do that. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your company. Make sure to do a few things that can help elevate your menopausal journey. And I hope this has been helpful.